Hey everybody, this is Frilioth and welcome to another episode of Minecraft on the AlphaCraft server. Today we're back in the Woodland Mansion again, as we have been actually for the last several episodes, but we're loving it in here. So I thought we'd do another episode in here. Now Smurfy, over the past several weeks or so, as you know if you've been following his streams, and if you haven't, you really ought to check out the link in the description below and go and watch him. He's on 3-4 times a week, so you really should go and check him out. But he's been doing a lot of work around the mansion, and he's continually, and I do mean continually, complaining at the fact that we don't have any food to eat in here yet. We've yet to make the cow and the sheep and the pig and the chicken farms properly anyway, so he's having to run around and kill chickens like a commoner with a sword. So I thought I'd surprise him today, and I'll make a little, it's not going to be the finished article, we've got much bigger plans than that, but I'm going to make a little chicken cooker, my patented chicken cooker, so at least it's going to have some food to eat. So I've grabbed myself a few bits and pieces. I think I've got enough. If I haven't, I'll have to go and fetch some, won't I? And I thought we'd just stick it in here where the rest of the chickens are. See, what he's been doing, bless him, is pulling out the eggs, throwing them at the walls, and then whacking them with a fire aspect sword, I think. Yeah, you're dead lucky, you are. So that's what he's been doing. So I'll knock it up here. But I've got to be careful in here because, surprisingly enough, wood burns and the chicken cooker has lava in it. Now, I'm not sure whether fire ticks are turned on the server. I suppose I should check. However, I'm not going to. So if I start by putting the chest, hopper. Yeah, I should give myself enough room if I put a chest just there. I'll put a link to the chicken cooker up in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now, I don't know whether it works in Java, in Bedrock. Some people say it does, some people say it doesn't. I've never tested it, so I don't really know. I definitely know it works in Java in 1.14. So as long as you build it correctly, it'll work just fine. So if we put that there, I need to make a hopper minecart. Using a hopper minecart because in 1.14, items no longer get sucked through slabs quick enough by a hopper, and it causes them to burn in the lava. So we're having to use a hopper minecart to do that now. So that's that. I think I'll use cobble for it because we've got plenty of cobble around. It won't look out of place. And like I said, this is only temporary anyway. We'll probably move this completely and change the design altogether to something brand new, but this is just to stop him from bleating at me, really. Right, that like that. I'm going to need this slab on top of here. It's been a while since I've built this. Really ought to look at the tutorial, didn't I? Put that there. That like that. I'm going to need some dispensers. These have got to be dispensers as well. Don't go using droppers or this won't work. And I'll just get comments in there saying, no, my droppers aren't working. Well, if your droppers aren't working, it's because you're using droppers. That like that. I'm going to need a hopper leading into the back of that bottom dispenser. That's where the eggs are going to go. The feeder chickens are going to go on there, and they're going to lay eggs into that. And then the little mechanism we're about to put in behind will fire all of this. It'll fire the lava out and suck it back in again, and it'll shoot out the eggs at the same time. I don't want wood there, do I, Frills? No, you don't, you idiot. And then we're going to need a comparator at the bottom there. So when a chicken lays an egg into there, the comparator is going to light up. Now, this is not an industrial-sized farm. It'll produce about 30 to 40 cooked chicken per hour. So it's not, it's not the fastest. It's not as fast as some of the bigger ones because you can only have 25 chickens at the back anymore, and they'll cram. And if they cram and die, raw chicken will fall into that hopper, be shot out the front, and it'll end up in your chest. And you'll think that it's not working when it is, but you've just crammed the chickens at the back. And there's no point trying to put vines in there or ladders to get by entity cramming, or turning entity cramming off if you're on your own server, because this relies, it works by the comparator there pulling the signal out of the hopper when an egg goes through it. If you've got loads of chickens at the back and they're continually laying eggs, that comparator is going to stay on and your dispensers are going to fill up because they're not going to be firing. So it relies on a chicken laying an egg one at a time going into that hopper. Any more than 25 and this is probably going to back up and stop working. So we want that there. We'll need an observer. Stand on there, put an observer down there. So that's going to detect when the comparator fires. I need a bit of dust, which I really thought I'd got. How can I not have any dust? Right, back in a minute. Need a bit of dust on the top of this observer. Like that. Actually, before we put that dust there, we need to get the chickens in. So let's just fill in around the sides. Fill that in, fill that in. Do not, and I'll repeat this, do not put the lava in there until all of the chickens are in and everything's finished. That has got to be the last thing you do. If it isn't, if you do it now, then there's a very good chance it's going to spit the lava out, and it could stay out, and if it stays out, then there will be tears and everything. We need some glass on the front. Stick some glass there like that. Stick that there like that. Yeah, all good. Very good, very fine, very nice. Stick some cobble down there. So this is where the eggs are going to go. The eggs are going to fall into there. Now, there's no point throwing eggs in there. If I were to throw eggs in there, nothing is going to happen. Nothing will happen. The only way that gets powered is when a chicken at the back lays an egg and it goes through that hopper. So don't go throwing stacks of eggs into there and expect them to be fired out at the front. That won't happen. That's not how this farm is designed. If you want a farm that does that, I'm afraid you're going to have to go and look at another chicken cooker. What? What? Okay. So we'll need to put a temporary block. What shall I use as a temporary block? Use a block that I'm not... it's going to have to be andesite. Andesite there. I need another block of... a blob of redstone dust on there eventually. But again, I'm just going to stick a temporary block just there. There. I need to get chickens into there now. Now I could try and entice those up with seeds and get them to jump in there. I don't think that's going to be my best option. And there's a few in here. Maybe I'll wait for the eggs to be laid. Eggs to be laid. Now the chances of an egg turning into a chicken when you throw it is only 12.5%. And it's the same when they're laid and spat out the front. So don't expect every egg that comes out of there to turn into a chicken. That's not going to happen. That's not how it works. I do need a bit of carpet though. So I am going to yoink this bit of carpet here. Yoink. I'm just going to stick it down there. And that's in the... I don't know whether it's still a problem, but in the past, chickens sort of glitch into hoppers, and that's caused a bit of an issue. In the past, I don't think it's the same now. So now what we need to do is lob in the eggs and hope we get some chickens out of it. So out of those 2 and a bit stacks, I got 6 chickens. Okay, which is a start, I guess. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer, get a few more eggs off those little fellas down there. And in the meantime, they might, if I... If I turn... Oh no, they're only babies anyway. No, I was going to try and be clever and get eggs from those guys as well, but I'm not. So I'm going to just sit here for a little bit now, get some more eggs, fill this up with baby chickens, and then what? Do you want to go in there? Go on then. I know you want to. No, go in, go in, go in, go on, go on. You know what? Go on, go on. Good chicken. Don't fall in there either. If you've got 20 or so chickens in there and you fall in, you might die from cramming. Death by chicken. It's not going to be a good thing. Right, I'll be back in a bit. So it turns out that if I stand up here, the chickens wander up to the top and I can just push them in, which is pretty cool. It's going to save me a little bit of time. And also, because all of the... Oh, hello, mate. Yeah, there's more than plenty of room in there. Go on, get in. Don't fall in. Remember, do not fall in. Now, because the redstone at the top isn't connected, when they lay an egg now, it's going to go into this dispenser and it's just going to stay there. Which means I can pull the egg out and then run at the top and throw it back in again. Come on, fellas. You. Yes, you. So anyway, we're nearly there. We're nearly at a stage where I can start putting the rest of the redstone in. Come on, fellas. Okay, so I've thrown a few more in there and I've managed to coax the ones that were down the bottom in there and I've pushed them all in. I'm starting to get, or I have got, a couple of pieces of raw chicken where they've crammed at the back. So I think I've probably reached the limit at the back. So what I need to do now is grab myself an observer. I need to put an observer facing this way. So the redstone part is just there. And the detector part is just there. Did you hear that dispenser fire? That's why you shouldn't be putting lava in until this is finished. Because every time this observer gets activated, it's going to fire that top dispenser, which is going to cause you problems. So don't put the lava in until the very last minute. If we do that and that, now every time the chicken at the back now lays an egg, it's going to fire that dispenser and it's also going to fire the bottom dispenser. So the next time a chicken lays an egg, hopefully we'll see an egg shoot out the front. It may hatch, it may not, but it may hatch. And also any eggs that are already in there, we've got 2 eggs in there. Because the observer fires twice, the comparator at the bottom, you see, it lights up once, causing this observer to fire. It then goes out, which causes this redstone to light up, which activates this observer, which causes the observer to fire, the dispenser to fire for a second time. And that's what fires out the lava and then sucks it back in again. But it also fires the bottom dispenser twice. That means if you do have a couple of eggs in the bottom... Have I got any eggs on me? I don't have any eggs in the bottom. If you do get a few in the bottom, they will clear eventually because it will shoot out 2 eggs at a time. I'm not going to sit here and wait for this to happen. I'm just going to stick some cobble over the top of it. I'm going to cover this with a slab. You don't have to, but if you're building this outside, you probably want to put slabs on the top because you don't want things spawning on the top. You don't want bad guys spawning on the top. If you wanted to as well, you could put a bit of glowstone, which I don't have. Put a bit of glowstone there just to light up your chickens, but you don't really need it. I'm going to put a solid block just there and then just cover the top with slabs. Did you hear that click twice? Actually, what? Now I've done it, now it's all done, I'm ready to go, I can put the... Oh, there you go, look at the baby little chicken. I can put the lava in there, in the top dispenser. Okay, so we'll break that. We'll put the lava in. We can then cover it back over. Oh, my ankles. Shot to pieces, I tells you. There you go. So that's done. Fill that back in again. Get rid of this. There you go. How easy was that? So there it is, and because a lot of the chickens at the back are currently baby chickens, we're not getting that many eggs coming out. But as soon as they've all grown up to be adults, you'll be getting an egg off of a chicken at the back about once every 5 minutes. Okay, so it equates, when you take into account that not every egg will hatch into a chick, and you will lose a few, this is not 100%, you will still lose a few in the larva. At the moment, I don't think there's any way to get around that. You will get about 40-45 pieces of cooked chicken every hour, which, as I say, is more than enough if there's only you and your mates in a base. If you wanted a big industrial one, a massive one, then you're just going to have to look for a different design. This won't do that job for you. This is a personal chicken cooker, not an industrial chicken cooker. But anyway, we've got it made. And hopefully it's going to keep Smurfy happy. But I am going to put a sign on the wall because he's going to be streaming in the next few days or so. And this video's not going out for a couple of days. So I'm going to put a sign on the wall by the door just saying no entry until Sunday or something like that. There you go. Stick a sign on there. No peeking until Sunday. Hopefully he won't just go diving in there now and spoil the surprise for you guys. However, it does mean he's going to have to eat eat potatoes until then. Have I got any? If I've got any coloured dye anywhere, I'll dye that sign because that was a little bit dark, wasn't it? Thought I'd got some yellow flowers somewhere. Flowers. We raided all the flowers around here. Maybe I'll just have to have a way with some lilac then, won't I? Yeah, lilac will do. Red's going to be too dark. Wow, if I'd have wanted red flowers, there wouldn't have been any. Okay. Lilac it is then. So this is a new feature in 1.14. In case you didn't know, let's turn that into magenta. Not lilac, is it at all? It's magenta. This still might be too dark, but it's going to change the colour a little bit. So in 1.14 you can change the colour of the text on signs, which I think is a fantastic addition. So just hold the die in your right hand, right click on the sign, boop, and you can change the colour of the sign. Fabulous. So that's just in case you didn't know. And it has made it a little bit easier to read. Perfect. Now we've got to go off and find something else to do. So I think what we'll do next is Smurf has been doing a bit of work in the Nether tunnel. We're going to have a look at that now. So it's come up with this design, which is brilliant. It fits perfectly with the woodland mansion. I think it was actually Cherry Mum's idea. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but certainly one of the viewers to his stream suggested we use dark oak and mushrooms and the rest of it. And obviously we're going to put ice down the middle so you can whiz down it on a boat. But this is looking lovely. It's looking fantastic. So what I think I'll do is make my way up to the roof of the Nether. I don't know whether there's a way. I think he said there was a way up, although I'm not convinced he understood me when I actually meant I need to get right up to the top of the just underneath the roof of the Nether. So I'm going to dig upwards. I'm just going to dig up from here actually, and hope I don't run into any lava. Have I got anything in my offhand? Just in case I do, I've got loads of blocks that I'm going to need. I'm going to punch through the Nether, the Nether roof. What we're going to do, actually, I'll explain what we're going to do first. Smurfy and I, have, as you've seen in the Woodland Mansion, we've captured a lot of Indicators, a lot of pillagers, some evokers and whatever. Stina Rose has got a zoo all the way up north, and she'd like us to deliver her a Vindicator and a evoker. So that's the plan. But the easiest way to do that, certainly with the evoker, is to get it on the roof of the Nether in a minecart on some rails and just move it I don't know, 3,000 blocks or whatever it's going to be. Probably not that far, but a good couple of blocks over to the zoo. So the plan is to get an evoker in here, get her up onto the roof of the Nether. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to punch a hole through the roof of the Nether. Now, if you don't know... Oh dear, well done, Frills. If you don't know how to do this, then stick around. I'll also link to a tutorial that I did a while ago, telling you how to get onto the roof of... Oh, here it is. Why did I think I was going to have to dig up a lot higher than that? Oh, actually, that's fantastic, Smurfy. Perfect. Right, so what I'm looking for now is specifically a block, a bedrock block that is at Y level 127. That is probably the one up there, but I can't... Oh, can I get up to that? I can't get up to that one. I need one that's got a couple of blocks at 127 next to each other. No doubt I'm going to run into a bit of lava here, although I can't see any on my map. Is that 127? You can always tell if you press F3. No, it's 126. Left-hand side, towards the bottom of the text, it says looking at block. That's minus 92, 126, 380. So the block I'm looking at there is at 126. I need to be looking at a block that is at 127. I.e. that one there, but I need to be able to get to that block, and I can't because that block's surrounded by other blocks of bedrock. So I'm going to have to keep looking. Now, all of the nether roofs are the same. They're not generated per seed, unlike the rest of the world. They're all the same in the seeds. So your bedrock roof is going to look very much the same as my bedrock roof. Now I know there are blocks up there. I know there is spaces up there that I need. Is that 127? If that is, that's brilliant. Looking at 126. So, but it is going to take me a few minutes to find it. So I'll dig around here until I find what I'm looking for, and then I'll bring you back and we'll have a play at getting up on the nether roof. So I think we've found what we're looking for. Those two blocks there are at wide 127. So if we F3 and then look at the looking at block on the left hand side, that says minus 90, 127, 386. So those two blocks are the last blocks. Above that is the nether ceiling, the nether roof. So now we need to get up there, and we need to be careful doing this because this has been patched slightly in 1.14. I need to put a slab on top of there. There you go. And now I need to throw and stand back as far as I can. I need to throw an ender pearl against that back wall. And that should put me standing on top of that slab with my head above the nether roof. But before I do that, I just want to jot down these coordinates. So, because I need to find these again when I get up above the roof. If I don't, then I'm going to try breaking the bedrock and I won't have a clue whether there's one bedrock block underneath me or whether there are more than that. So this is at minus 89 and plus 386. Plus 386. So once I'm on the top of the nether, I can find this block again, break this one, and I'll know that there's no bedrock underneath me. So if I grab my ender pearls, I'm going to take damage from throwing the ender pearls, but I shouldn't take too much damage. And I've got to press forward when I do it, otherwise I might slide back off and back down here again. So back as far as I can go, ender pearl, and then jump, and there you go, I'm out. So I took a little bit of damage, but nothing I can't cope with. You see, look at that. Look, Ma, top of the world. So now what I need to do is find minus 89. So I have gone quite a way. Minus 89, 386. Minus 89, 386. So that there, underneath that block there, is going to be nothing, because it's a single block of bedrock underneath there. So now I'm going to need to make a contraption that is going to break that bedrock. Now I'll stick a link to the contraption top right hand corner of the screen. Now I'll also put it in the description at the end. But what you're going to need is sticky pistons and normal pistons and slime blocks and all kinds of stuff. Now don't worry about anything spawning up here. Nothing can spawn on bedrock. So you won't have any ghasts up here or pigmen or anything else unless you start building solid blocks around here, and then you will get stuff spawning up here, which is why you can build pig farms and the rest of it high above the nether. But at the moment, nothing's going to spawn here, so we'll stick down. I'm not going to do a tutorial on this. I'm just going to throw this down. So you need that and that. Just move that block now, because I know that's the block I'm going to need to dig underneath. I've also got enough obsidian to get back again in case this goes wrong, because there is a chance that this could all go pear-shaped and I won't be able to get back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Stick a lever on there, and then my activator rail just there. Now I need to grab 10 repeaters, and I need to put 5 repeaters there, 5, bit of dust, and then 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going into a solid block. And then all of these need to be on 4 ticks. The delays is critical for this to work. If it's out by 1 tick, the piston head will extend too quick, or it won't extend quick enough. And then when the TNT minecart goes off, it's not going to blow the head off this piston. And we need these pistons to be headless for this to work. So I now need to make myself some TNT, your minecart TNT. Stick that on there. Now this might work first time, but this might not work the first time, which is why I've got more than 1 piece of TNT, and why I've bought enough obsidian to make me a portal to get back in case this doesn't work. So now we'll set off that. The TNT is going to blow up, and hopefully that piston head there is going to be blown off. Okay. Did it? I mean, it destroyed the piston as well, but that's not a biggie. That's no biggie. Right, so we can do that. Put that back. I need to stick a block of redstone on top of this piston now to stop it from updating. I can then turn this off and put a couple of bits of redstone dust there and there, and then I need to do exactly the same thing again. Make myself some TNT. I've got to double check it just to make sure. The obsidian's there to stop these from being blown up. If the TNT minecart went off and this wasn't obsidian, it would blow this up and probably blow up that as well, and it would turn the system off. So I've got my redstone dust there. So the sticky piston should extend, and the head should be blown off the sticky piston. Perfect. So now we've got 2 headless pistons. Put that there. They won't update. If you didn't put the blocks there, they would update and the pistons would retract and it wouldn't work. So now we've done that, I can get rid of all of this stuff, being careful not to break the blocks of redstone. So that's the easy part done. Now we need to grab a couple of normal pistons again. We need a normal piston just there. We now need a piston facing down. And in the past, I've messed about with loads of pistons to sort of extend them down to put a piston upside down, facing downwards there. But you don't need to do that now. If I grab my block and put a block just there like that, and then I grab a trap door. Trapdoors now, when you close them on yourself, they put you into, it's like super crouch mode. So if I do that like that and then stand here and close it, it sort of puts me into crawl mode, and I'm now flat on the floor. If I F5, yeah, there you go, look at that. So it's got me flat on my face, which is perfect, just what I need. And now I need to put a piston facing downwards there. And because I'm low enough down, that now works. So I can just pop myself out of there. I know we can hear a gasp, but it's underneath us. It's not going to be up here, so don't worry about that. Then break that out, and then I need a block there, and then I'll need a couple of slime blocks, or 3 slime blocks there, and there. Sticky piston just there. 4 blocks like that. Another block of blob of redstone dust there. Now this is where the magic happens. This has got to be exactly, this has got to be perfect. If this isn't right, or I get one of these in the wrong order, one of these repeaters or these comparators in the wrong order, this won't work. So just here I'm going to need a comparator, and then a repeater, then a comparator, then a repeater. And then just next to it, behind that, I'm going to need a repeater, a comparator, and a comparator. So it's got to be in that order. Any other order, and the pistons will update in the wrong order, and this won't work. Redstone dust there. I'll need my lever. And then I need to flick all of this on. And now I can get rid of these redstone blocks. Now, all things being equal, once I flick this lever, these are all going to retract in a specific order. These slime blocks are going to be retracted. It's going to push that block back. It's going to push that block back over here. And because of how they're all updated with the headless pistons and everything, it's actually going to delete the block of bedrock underneath that piston, all things being equal. So here goes. So now if I break this piston, there you go, we've got a hole in the nether. Is that superb or what? So that now means that me and Smurfy can now make a little contraption up the top, and that'll allow us to get the evoker under there on a slime block. We'll then push her up. She'll pop up through the nether roof. We'll have a little contraption here that pushes her over to the side, and then she'll be stuck on the nether roof. And hopefully then we can get her over to Stina Rose's zoo and get her out of the base, and then we can not worry about being attacked by Vexes every 2 minutes. So now all I need to do is grab some ladders. Put a couple of ladders there. Now, you might be thinking, why don't you just build a nether portal on the roof now and just be able to transfer, you know, be able to TP back to the overworld and then back to here again. It's just not possible. You can't have a nether portal above Y125 and it works both ways. If I build a nether portal up here now, it'll take me back to the overworld, but I won't be able to teleport or, you know, use it to get back onto the nether roof, because anything above 125 and it just doesn't work, which is why I can't just build another portal up here. If I messed about and I got rid of 2 layers of bedrock and then built another nether portal up here, then that would work. But as it stands, if I build a nether portal up here, it won't work both ways, which is why we have to do it down the bottom. So I can just pop myself down here, put in a couple of blocks. Don't know the way out. I'll have to worry about that later. So now we've got a roof onto the nether. We've got a route on to the nether. So I think I'm going to call it a day for today, everybody. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed the episode, please don't forget to leave it a like. Don't forget to check out all the other alphas. They're all fantastic and well worth a watch. Don't forget to check out Smurf's live streams. He streams 4 times a week, so be sure to catch that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.